The more I go into the wilderness, the more I value having a larger pistol than my Glock 19. So I ended up pulling the trigger on a Glock 20, a Gen 5 MOS. This is a 10mm auto. And today, I'm gonna give you a little bit of feedback on this pistol and what I think about it. I always like to start my videos off with some disclosures just so you guys understand who I partner up with, maybe some of the gear in these videos gets sent to me, etc. So before I get into that though, I want to ask you to support the channel and support my companies. So all of the information on those companies can be found in the description below. Consider clicking the links, checking out the websites, looking at the vision of each brand and the missions that we're embarking on. And if they resonate with you, consider buying something off of our websites, because that is how I'm able to keep this YouTube channel alive and to continue to be doing content around firearms and business and travel and vehicles and overlanding, all that good stuff. So if you like that kind of content and you like what we're about, consider supporting us, because that's the only way that I can keep all of this stuff alive and moving forward. And I appreciate all of you that do support us and the tens of thousands of you that have supported us over the last decade. So moving into the disclosures, I like to talk about what I've paid full price for and what was potentially sent to me in these videos. I think that it's my duty to tell you guys if something was sent for free. I'm very unbiased, and you can ask anyone on our team. Guns really don't excite me, so if they suck, I'm gonna tell you that they suck. Ultimately, I look at them as a tool, something that I can use and abuse for a specific purpose. So it's very hard, it's impossible to buy my opinion about a firearm, so I'm gonna be very forthcoming with you on that. The only thing in this video that was sent to me for free was the sidecar holster from T-Rex. These guys came through, pulled through for me. I had a very quick need for this video. I've been running the sidecar for many years, so I do want to say thank you to the T-Rex team for hooking me up with this sidecar. I will note that this is a Glock 21 sidecar with an X300V light, and it does fit. Now, I don't know if they would endorse my actions for running a Glock 20 in the Glock 21 holster, but it does fit perfectly fine. So thank you to the T-Rex crew for sending that holster out to me. It made this video possible, frankly. So the Glock 20 paid full dealer price. I am an 07, 02, so I do get dealer pricing on firearms that are shipped right to our shop. The red dot, full price. The X300V, full price. Ammo, I paid full price. I didn't take any money, any sponsorships of any kind for this video, period. Let's dive into what I think about this pistol. Pistol is a Gen 5 Glock 20, and it is an MOS, so it's ready for red dot optics. This is a full-size pistol that's chambered in 10mm auto. Barrel length is approximately 4.61 inches, and the factory capacity of the magazines is 15 rounds. Glock does include 3 15-round magazines with every Glock 20. The advertised width of this pistol is 1.38 inches. The length is advertised at 8.01 inches, and the advertised overall height is 5.5 inches approximately. The advertised weight is 26.63 ounces without a magazine. The sights are the cheap plastic stock low factory Glock sights, so nothing fancy there. It is red dot ready, and you can get multiple adapter plates depending on the red dot that you're gonna run on the MOS footprint. The barrel is a 1 in 9.84 twist rate, and really, other than that, there's really nothing to see here. It's just another ugly Glock that people are either gonna love or hate. And the street price on this particular pistol ranges anywhere from $650 to around $680 at the time I'm making this video. I opted for the Holosun HE508T to be on top of this pistol. I like this red dot a lot, and it seemed to be a good fit for this particular role. As far as the weapon light, I wanted something that was night vision compatible as well as visible white light, so I went with the Surefire X300V for the weapon light. And as discussed, I'm running the Sidecar 2.0 holster. This is for a Glock 21 SF with the X300V light, and it fits the 10mm perfectly. Starting off, I wanted to talk about the things that I like about this pistol. There's plenty that I love, and there's plenty that, frankly, I don't like about this pistol. And if you have heard my opinion over the years, talking about Glocks in general, you understand what I'm talking about. I love them, but there's things that I don't really like about them. But I guess the first thing that I really like about the Glock 20 is it feels like a Glock. And I know a lot of you are gonna be like, oh, it's disgusting, because they feel like a 2x4 in your hand, or you'll have some cute little quip to throw at me about how much Glocks suck to hold and shoot. But ultimately, I'm very familiar with shooting Glocks. I've shot a Glock 19 for around a decade at this point. So having that familiarity to me is very important, especially when we're talking about a bigger bore pistol that is very recoil heavy. So controlling this gun, it's very similar to my Glock 17 or Glock 19, so it feels very at home when I'm shooting it. I do like that the Gen 5 removed the finger grooves. I think that that was a solid move. I've never liked the finger grooves on my Glock 19, my Gen 4, or any of my other Glocks that have finger grooves. I think that they suck. So aside from that, on the grip as well, the magazine well is very flared on the Glock 20. Some of that's just due to the size of a 10mm magazine, but I've noticed on the Gen 5 especially, they really flared out that mag well. It really aids in the ability to insert mags very quickly when you're doing reload drills or even just reloading organically on the range. I think that the grip texture on the Glocks is not really anything special, but there's enough there that I can grip this pistol very well, but it's not too aggressive that it would destroy my skin if I'm carrying this inside the waistband. I know some of you are thinking, why the heck would you carry this inside the waistband? Well, sometimes I do, and I don't want a super aggressive texture up against my skin in those situations. When we were looking at the accuracy portion of the videos that we shot, this pistol is extremely accurate. So not only does it handle like a pistol that I'm very familiar with, this thing is very capable of putting rounds even at distance exactly where I want them. So because of my familiarity with Glock pistols in general, shooting the Glock 20, even with full power 10mm loads, is very easy to manage that recoil. And what I found with this pistol, because of its ergonomics, the recoil impulse really drives the slide straight back. I don't feel a lot of muzzle flip out of this pistol. It always does help to have a weapon light or something like that on the bottom of your gun. But at the end of the day, when you're shooting a full power 10mm, there's not much that's gonna stop that recoil impulse other than good fundamentals on your part. And also on top of that, one of the things I really love about this pistol is it's going to be a very reliable pistol. I can tell you that even though I've only have around 500 rounds through this, maybe 600 rounds through this gun, Glock pistols are extremely reliable in all flavors and forms, and I've never had issues with reliability with any Glock that I've purchased. They always run right out of the box. This Glock 20 was no exception to that, and it did exactly what I wanted right out of the box. I thought it was worthwhile to talk about a couple things that I don't like about this pistol, and there's quite a few. And I think if you were just to listen to my negatives of this pistol, you might think that I would walk away saying I actually don't like this gun at all. But they're just some observations that I made, and I don't think any of them are a deal breaker necessarily. First of all, as soon as I unboxed this pistol, I noticed that it lacked suppressor height sights. And that's not the end of the world. I don't think that it necessarily has to come with suppressor height sights, but when you buy the M&P 2.0 and it already comes with the taller sights and the sights on the M&P are better than the Glock, it just makes you question why this pistol costs so much and why they couldn't integrate better sights with this pistol right off the bat. I know some of the naysayers are gonna be like, well, people are gonna put a red dot on it, why do you need iron sights? The reality is I do like to have some redundancies on my pistol, so having taller iron sights would be really nice. Will I ever shoot this suppressed? Probably not. This is more of a backpack, overland, hunting pistol, but there is a chance that I would, buy a threaded barrel and throw a suppressor on it. We do have cans that would accommodate this. So it would have been nice to have them, not the end of the world. One of the gripes that I do have right off the bat is they basically included no screws for red dots in the MOS kit. So you get this pistol, you spend whatever, $600 some on it, and then you have to buy additional things to be able to mount your red dot to the slide. It just felt like I was getting gypped a little bit there, that basically I spent a lot of money on a quality pistol and it just didn't come with the things that I think that it should have come with. And again, if I wouldn't have bought the M&P, maybe I wouldn't have been so sour about some of that stuff because I wouldn't have had anything to compare it to. But the M&P came with everything that I needed. I didn't have to struggle at all. It had different plates and mounting options and screws and all this other stuff. So because of that, I think Glock, you kind of suck for that, but I still love the pistol, so I guess we'll give it a pass. The other thing that I really don't like about this pistol is the trigger. I think it's horrendous, frankly. At first, when I picked it up and I was dry firing it, I was like, hey, this isn't that bad. It's not a horrible trigger. Then I picked up the M&P. I was like, yeah, this sucks. This is really bad. This is a really bad trigger. And you really start to notice that when you're shooting distance shots. So the question in my mind is this pistol worth it if you could spend basically the same amount of money on an M&P, maybe a little bit more? I don't know. At the end of the day, for me to be comfortable hunting with this or taking distance shots, really I'm gonna replace that trigger. At minimum, I'm gonna put a better trigger in this thing. And then just for my own, I guess, comfort, I would put suppressor height sights on this thing. Well, we're talking about a couple $100 into this pistol that already cost me so much money. And comparing to the M&P, you know, I don't know, maybe some of you guys are gonna be like, wow, you're dumb for going with a Glock 20. But that's one of those big negatives, is just I don't know if the value of this pistol necessarily matches the value of something like an M&P 2.0 10 millimeter. But ultimately, you guys are gonna have to decide that for yourself. The last point I wanted to make, which isn't necessarily the gun itself, but holster compatibility was very difficult. I actually did not expect for the Glock to struggle so bad to figure out what holsters would fit. The M&P, I was like, okay, I can kind of get it. There's probably not that many M&P 10 millimeters out there. But inside the waistband holsters, like the sidecar, something that has a spare magazine attached to the holster was nearly impossible to find. Frankly, I had to, again, ultimately buy a holster that was for a different gun, but thankfully Glocks are basically all the same and it worked out perfectly. It's safe, we got good retention, everything works as it should, but it took a lot of extra digging, research, and measuring both my Glock 21 and my Glock 20 to 100% confirm that this should fit in that holster. So my closing thoughts on this pistol are really that it is a phenomenal pistol. I think Glock did a really good job at creating a robust, reliable, and extremely accurate pistol. I think it lacks a lot of the value that another pistol like the M&P would bring to the table, but ultimately this does have better holster availability than the M&P. I have more options for light bearing holsters. While it is still difficult to get them, it's very possible, as I found out. I think that overall, this is a solid pistol that is perfect for anyone who needs a workhorse in the 10 millimeter that they're carrying. And at the end of the TA video that we did where we compared these two pistols, I ultimately walked away saying I prefer the Glock. And I think most of that is just because I've basically been ruined by Glocks over the years. I got so used to my Glock 19, Glock 17, Glock 22, all the different variants that I've had, that I just prefer the feel of a Glock. So because it feels so at home to me, I'm going to lean on this pistol more than any other pistol. But I do plan to make some changes, like I said, to the trigger, adding some suppressor height sights, and making it a little bit more refined so I could go hunting with this, or I would carry it out in the wilderness as we're overlanding and exploring and all of that good stuff. So expect some changes with this, but I don't think anything major because it is a performer right outside the box. So I'm curious what you guys think. Would you consider grabbing a Gen 5 Glock 20 MOS, or do you think that that's nuts and would you go a different other way? Should I have picked a totally different pistol than the Glock or the M&P? I'd love to hear of different options that you guys have used and worked with and experienced in your own lives. That kind of information down in the comments section is always valuable to all the subscribers and people watching this video. So if you liked the video, consider supporting me, my entire team, my companies, down in the description below. I would appreciate all that support. It's the only reason that I can keep this channel going. And as always, guys, stay well, stay safe, and you will see me, I will see you, I will see you in the next video.